Hi everyone, I'm back again with another compatibility chart, this time between Khloé Kardashian and Tristan Thompson. This is very interesting. I found so many details that explain what is going on and what has happened between the two of them. The first thing I want to talk about is her natal chart regarding the North Node, because this is really important and it indicates a lot of energies in her life. Whatever touches your North Node natally, the energies will be the basic theme of your life and the direction that your life is going. Now, in this case, her Chiron and Caputo conjuncts her North Node 1 degree. Chiron has to do with pain, and Caputo, I wouldn't trust that asteroid as far as I could throw it, because Caputo has to do with a Don Juan energy. He has a sweet, sugary love declarations falling from his lips and the look of love, but not necessarily the feelings that go along with it. Caputo is a womanizer with knowing deception, especially when there are the energies present in a compatibility chart, and in this case there is. So remember, actions speak louder than words. So in her life, she experiences a lot of pain being involved with these Don Juan sort of men. And I think that's what she's going to be remembered for. Not only that, but she is a Kardashian. So I'm going to get to their compatibility chart. Her Lilith, Eleutheria, and Attica conjuncts his sun, 0 degrees. The sun, a very important luminary in a compatibility chart. So in this case, her Lilith, that has to do with raw sexuality, and Eleutheria has to do with freedom. But Eleutheria is holding hands with Attica, and that asteroid has the energies of being in prison. So this is interesting because to me, this translates into she would like her freedom, but she's imprisoned in this relationship. So there's a back and forth pull between the two of them. Now, all of those asteroids conjuncts his sun, but his sun in his natal chart conjuncts his Tristan asteroid and Dionysus. Interestingly, Tristan is an asteroid that has to do with the energies are involved in a love triangle, and it's also not funny, but cool that that's his name. It's a PNA as well. And it's conjuncting Dionysus. And Dionysus is an asteroid that has to do with drinking, specifically wine. So I don't know if he drinks a lot of wine, but those two asteroids are conjuncting his sun. So right there, his name is conjuncting his sun and Dionysus. Now, back to the Eleutheria asteroid. That has to do with freedom. Her Pholus conjuncts his Eleutheria, 2 degrees. So he wants his freedom. He needs his freedom from her. Pholus is an asteroid that it explodes the energy of whatever planet or asteroid or star that it touches. So he needs his freedom. His Pholus conjuncts her Sun, her Venus, and lust. So she lust, self-explanatory. So she lusted after him and still does, I would imagine. And his Pholus all conjuncts her Sun and Venus. And this is how these energies came into play, of how she fell in love with him and how she felt that he was probably the right guy for her. Her Tristan asteroid, Don Quixote, Apollo conjuncts his Mars, 0 degrees. That's the tightest orb that you can possibly have. Again, Tristan, his name, PNA, and also that has to do with the love triangle, because Tristan and Isolde in Greek mythology, I think he left her for another woman. But I did discuss Tristan and Isolde in another video. And if you're interested in looking behind the meaning of that, you could find it on Google. Now, Don Quixote has to do with the impossible dream. And Apollo, he finds her very alluring, and she's like a goddess to him. But Don Quixote, these energies have to do with dreams that don't come true. And it's conjuncting his Mars. And Mars brings fire and power to these asteroids and the energies. Now, here's the reason why she defends him all of the time. I don't know if it's all of the time, but people are always saying, why are you with him? And you're always, backing up his actions or making excuses for them. And this is because her Night asteroid conjuncts his Venus and also his Nemesis asteroid. So Night is like a knight in shining armor, and she's always going to, for the most part, defend him, even though people think that he's an enemy towards her or his actions aren't admirable, but she doesn't really care. I mean, she may care, but this energy configuration spells differently. Now, his Salacea, Poseidon, and Pandora conjuncts her ascendant 1 degree. The ascendant is a really important angle in a compatibility chart. Whatever asteroids or planets conjunct your ascendant from the other person, you will receive those energies. And this is at 1 degree, so that's tight. Salacea has to do with shocking, scandalous events, and he brought that to her, as well as Poseidon, that has to do with cheating. And since it's holding hands with Salacea, that explains perfectly all of these, scandalous sexual conquests and cheating on his part. And Pandora has to do with that energy opening up. It's like opening up Pandora's box, and all of these things come out that you don't really want them to, but it's undeniable because it's conjuncting her ascendant. And there's a lot of ill-considered acts that on his part that result in unfavorable consequences. Now, her Juno, Vesta, Isis, and Hypnos conjuncts his south node 1 degree. Juno has to do with marriage. Vesta has to do with a sacrificial devotion on her part, and Isis also has to do with devotion. And Hypnos has to do with being hypnotized and having a hypnotic effect. So she brings these energies to him, and he's fine with it. I know they didn't get married, and I'm going to tell you why that didn't happen. Because when I saw this, I thought to myself, well, they're not married. But in a second here, I'm going to get to that. But I want to explain these energies of these asteroids that are holding hands. So she has a sacrificial devotion to him, and she's hypnotized by him. And it's almost like she's in a fog. His Jupiter conjuncts her Lacrimosa 1 degree. And I've said before, Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system, and it magnifies the energies of whatever it touches. And in this case, Lacrimosa has to do with crying and tears. So she shed a lot of tears over this relationship. Now, the reason why they didn't get married is because the asteroid Knot conjuncts his Juno. So that right there says no marriage. You could live together or maybe be engaged, but no marriage. So that's the explanation. Again, more cheating. Lots of cheating asteroids in this compatibility chart. I don't think I've seen so many before. His Fox, Zeus, conjuncts her point of fortune, 3 degrees and 0 degrees. Fox has to do with seeing women as sex objects. And Zeus, that's a major cheating asteroid. And since it's conjuncting her point of fortune, which is like a mini Jupiter, it magnifies these energies. So this is like a guaranteed cosmic policy that it's going to happen. Also, his Poseidon, again cheating, and Casanova trines her moon 2 degrees. Casanova is like the brother of Caputo, another Don Juan sort of energy that can involve cheating, especially when it is present with all the other cheating asteroids in a compatibility chart. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean cheating, but if you look at the big picture and there are many conjunctions or trines, sometimes in squares as well, with these asteroids, it's going to happen. And since it's trining her moon, that's a very important luminary in a compatibility chart. You have to pay attention to what makes aspects to your moon. And it's a trine in this case, and the trines are like cheerleaders, and the energy flows very easily. His Eternatus conjuncts her south node and her midheaven 1 degree. Eternatus has to do with eternity. So he's always going to be there for her. Even though there's other women, he will be. And now people can say, well, it's because of the children. Well, that's true. However, I think that even if they didn't, there would be this back and forth, on and off connection that just won't dissolve due to the other energies and conjunctions I've already explained. And she's okay with that too, because it's conjuncting her south node. And the midheaven, everybody can see this interaction between the two of them. His Neptune and Uranus conjuncts her Astrea 1 degree. Astrea has to do with staying until the bitter end. So again, more indications of a relationship that's just going to go on and on and on. And she's going to stay to the bitter end and defend him because of the night asteroid I've talked about already. Now, his Neptune conjuncting this is like a fog, and she's just like in a daze about it, and she makes excuses about what he does and what is going on, and it's okay. That's just the way it is. And she does it sporadically as well, because Uranus is also conjuncting her Astrea, and Uranus has to do with unstableness and things that happen out of the blue or unexpected behaviors. His Astrea conjuncts her Mercury, 0 degrees, in the 5th house that rules children. And the 5th house also rules non-romantic dalliances and, non-romantic sexual interactions. And since his Astrea is conjuncting her Mercury, he is going to stay to the bitter end as well. And she probably told him, I'm here for you forever, and be prepared for me defending you and being by your side. And we do have children. His Messalina conjuncts her moon, 1 degree. The moon, like I said, very important luminary in a compatibility chart. Messalina has to do with sexual manipulation and using sex as a weapon to get what you want and being very cunning about it. So that's what she gets from him as well. So that's all I have. This pretty much explains how their relationship has unraveled in the public eye and what is going on between them and how they're pretty much trapped in this relationship together. And she's devoted to him, and I think she always will be. So I hope you enjoyed this interpretation, and I will be back soon with more compatibility charts, and hit the subscribe button if you're interested in hearing about more. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.